Oh, hey, here we are. Wow. Special guest time, isn't it, Timea?
Yes. Hi,
Well,
everybody. Hi, Miles.
welcome, LinkedIners. I'm still not sure what the collective term is for people that LinkedIn, but yeah, we're here, we're live, and it's September's guest webinar with the fantastic Timea Kadar. Timea, good day to you.
Hi, Miles. Thank you so much for inviting me. Hi, everybody.
Well, I am totally thrilled to have you on board, a fellow marketeer. I'm just going to do my bit of housekeeping and check that we are, in fact, live. I can see that we are. So let me just get this turned down so I can see that some of the questions that come in. I mean, it's all going on. It's all going on. So we'll just wait for some people to come in, Timea. Have you had a busy morning?
Actually, yes, I did, but I was totally expecting this webinar, so was preparing for that as well. So really exciting to be here, and it's really one of my favorite topics. So I was really looking forward to speaking about it.
Super. Well, people are starting to join on, which is great.
Hey.
As always, if you have any specific questions, please pop them in the chat. As Timea talks through she got some slides to share with us. So as she talks through it all, I'll be keeping an eye on the chat, and we'll be taking some pauses throughout the next sort of half an hour or so to answer your questions. Ultimately, it isn't about us, Timea. It's all about the viewers and trying to add some
Yes,
value for people,
absolutely.
right?
Yes, and also if you, I don't know, have some doubts or you don't agree with something, you have your own experience, please share. Absolutely. So I'm not here to
Absolutely. The
lecture, I'm
more,
here to talk and
yeah,
discuss.
the more the merrier. I would say if you're not connected to Timea on LinkedIn, then please do. On the page that you're on, there should be her little face, and you can click on that and get connected. And if you feel compelled to get in touch with her, then her email is on the screen there. Please take a note or take a screen grab so that you can contact her later on. Okay, well, I think we should probably we're going to dive into things. I think I should do you the obligatory introduction. So I met Timea about a year or so ago through networking, and we instantly sort of hit it off. And since then, through different types of networking, we've seen each other on a regular basis. Now, Timea is the head of strategy at Francis Cooper. So if you are wanting in-depth marketing strategy, of course you can ask me, but of course you can ask Timea as well. All right, we got two experts in one room today. She is also she's been in marketing for 22 years. I mean, you wouldn't tell by looking at you, Timea. And also she is a director of the London Business Society, which, if you haven't heard of the London Business Society, I suggest you get involved. If you live in London or commutable to London, then get involved, because Timea runs some great networking events at some very posh private clubs in London. So I'm often hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders with Timea and the rest of the crew in Mayfair or in swanky city clubs. It really is fantastic. It's very, very affordable, and yeah, you put on a good show. So I think that's enough of an
Yes,
from
that's
me.
enough.
You can definitely do a better job, Timea. I know that you've got some slides which we'll put on the screen, but did you want to do an introduction first of all?
Thank you so much, Miles. Not anything about me, but what I'd like to point out is that I really appreciate that you have this mentality of cooperation over competition. So I really, really look up on you as a marketer and marketing strategist and your background, and it's always great to talk to you. And really love this approach that I also follow, that when we work together, we just can grow something bigger instead of kind of trying to do in our own thing in our own, place. So I really, really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so
I'm a
much.
great believer in there's enough pie there for everybody, Timea,
Exactly.
and the more
Yeah.
knowledge none of us know it all, so it's always great to sort of share experiences and keep learning. I am going to share your screen and hand it all over to you. At any stage, if you want to take a break, I'll keep an eye on the chat. Please get your questions in, and yeah, sit back, relax, get a cup of tea, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miles. And hi, everybody, as you're joining. I'd like to invite you to map and follow the journey of your customer. This is what we're talking about today. And many times when I talk to business owners or company directors and I mention them the customer journey, do you know the journey that your customer is walking? And they tell me that, yeah, of course, yeah, I do. Customers find me through referrals and networking or LinkedIn or email or whatever. And then we have a consultation and we have this or that. And yeah, it's absolutely mapped out. But what really happens in many cases is that the company, businesses, think they have a very solid journey that the customer is walking. It's really very well built and it's very solid and wide, and this is what they think the customer is using. But a crazy customer is actually walking their own way, which they feel convenient, and it's probably not the same that the company is imagining. And that's not a good match. So if you have this path that you build and you don't know about this path that the customer carved for themselves, then it won't be easy for you, or it will be impossible for the business to meet the customer where they are. So the purpose of mapping, it's not building the customer journey. We map the journey they walk. The purpose of it is to be able to be there for them with exactly the same type of offer or the same kind of help they need at that point, the proper and the right offer, the right content, the right marketing technique. And this is only possible if we map what they are doing. So I don't know if we have people on the call right now, but I would have a question, because actually customer journey, let's just make it less technical. Okay, this is something that we all go through as customers, sometimes multiple times a day. Actually today I've already bought some things and I walked through a journey already. What really happens is that it very rarely happens that somebody wakes up in the morning, jumps out of the bed, and pushes the pay button on the computer, or walks to the cashier and pays for something without any background, right? We wish it happened with our customer. It's not really happening. It can happen in some very routine buying cases or impulsive buying cases, but in most of the cases, especially what we do around the table, it doesn't really happen. But it's really a process of that journey. And we all go through this process. Sometimes it is very short, just in the case of a routine buying, and in some other cases, when we buy something which has more risk and costs more money, then it is longer. But just I would like to ask you to pop it in the chat. Please think of something that you bought in the last couple of days, not necessarily today. What was it? Don't share if it's embarrassing or if it's confidential. Okay? I'm not asking anybody to make
Go
it
on.
public, but if it's public, I don't know if there are anybody viewing, or if Miles, you would like to share.
We do have lots of people viewing, Timea. Some names which I know you're going to be familiar with. Sheila's on.
Sheila, hi Sheila.
Sheila's on. Sheila's on. Sapna's on. Chris is on.
Oh, thank you, Chris
Yeah.
and Sapna, for joining. So please, Sapna, please, Chris, share with us. Nothing embarrassing.
I'm sure whatever Chris has been buying online is going to be shocking. And
I think so. Yeah. So let's hear what.
Right, Harman's come on, and he said that he bought a kid's bicycle.
Amazing. Kids bicycle, really great. So when somebody is buying a kids, and please, everybody, please just pop it in, pop it in. I can share with you. It's not really here with me. I bought a little car model, an old-timer car model. This one for my dad. There is an occasion coming up, and I bought that one. Kids bicycle. What did you buy, Miles? Did you buy anything in the past?
Oh, well, I've been trying to batten down the hatches recently, but Karen, she's come on. She said she bought some cough sweets and some new, and some new security cameras. And
Okay. Wow.
Sheila says she's bought a new top, and Chris said he bought a picnic backpack for a client.
Okay, that's great. Fantastic. So these are all, you've all gone through this journey that we will describe actually as customers. And our job as a business is to map this journey that our customers are doing and put ourselves in their shoes and walk in it. Walk in it, not just be in their shoes, but walk through the journey themselves, ourselves. So thank you so much for sharing with us what you bought. But I would have another question. So those of you who bought a kid's bicycle, a picnic backpack, well, I don't know, a top, please share with me, those who shared with me what you bought. What was the point when you realized you needed it? So Chris, when you said that I need a backpack, so why do you need a backpack? Why do you need a kid's bicycle? What was that point when you realized it? Why you need it? If you could share with us. So obviously my bit, when I realized that my dad's occasion is coming up, right? So I had this idea, okay, then I have a need, I need to buy something of a gift. Okay, so it was not right away waking up and buying this old-timer model, but the first thing was that the occasion is coming up and I need to buy a gift. Okay, so do
Right.
people
So
share
we've got some answers. Chris hasn't answered yet, but Sapna wrote on here that she bought the periodic table sculpture. I mean, talk about bizarre, as requested by her geeky 9-year-old son for his birthday.
Okay, so an occasion was coming up.
Yeah. So, and he asked for it specifically. Sheila, in regards to her top, not that she needs to justify buying her top, she said she wasn't planning to buy it, but she was at a networking exhibition, so so she felt compelled to, I guess. Karen says about her new security cameras. Well, the current set had stopped working, so there was obviously a need
there was an actual problem there. Exactly. Yes, thank you so much for being such an amazing audience. I always love to see these kind of things because marketing is really not I'm sorry to say, but it's not rocket science. And we do
come on. We've got
especially no, but we really have to reveal it here that we are doing it every day as customers, and we're walking through ourselves every day as customers. Our only job is to put ourselves in the shoes of our customers and walk in it. So thank you so much for sharing this stuff. And today I'd like to share with you the stages of the customer journey, which I think most of you will be familiar with. This is where everybody says, yes, I know it. But I also would like to share with you a little bit about what the customer thinks with and does in each of those stages. What are the things that you should consider? And then I would tell you what are the marketing techniques and offerings that you might want to think of in each journey, and then how to map this journey for yourself. The purpose of this whole mapping and exercise that we are doing is actually to optimize it. If we know the customer journey, we can optimize it, and our conversion will be higher. We will have more money, we'll be richer, and you know what? You know where it leads, and we will have much more satisfied customers, obviously. So let's see the stages of this journey. This is where the customer starts, and this is what we call awareness. You might call it whatever. It's not the terminology. It's really the first stages when I realize I need something because it's broken, because there's an occasion coming up, because I just want to have it, because I just feel a need. It's not necessarily a problem. Sometimes there is just a need that I would like to fill. The next stage, and we will go into more details in each stage in the next couple of slides. As I go on, when I realize I need something, I start acting, and I start to search for some of the options, how I can solve this problem. And I come to a consideration phase where I have to select for more options to solve this problem. And this will lead me into finally making a decision and selecting one of the options, purchasing that options, and finally I will use that product. I will have an opinion about this whole experience. And I think that this is the slide which most of you are familiar, not the slide, but the stages that most of you are familiar with. But now let's dive deeper into each stage. So the awareness stage is really the stage when the client thinks that, hey, this is a problem, this is a need. Christmas is coming up, and I need to book a Christmas dinner for my team, or an occasion is coming up, or something is broke, or I'm really embarrassed about my website when I have to show it to my clients. So all kinds of these things when we realize that we need to solve this problem. And this is what the client thinks. And at this point, they have no idea in many of the cases what's available. So they feel a little bit lost and helpless. But at the same time, they are also excited and hopeful that somehow they will be able to solve the problem. What I'm sharing here with you today is what clients in many cases feel and think and do, but your job will be to research what your customer does, thinks, feels, and does. Okay, so this is just to give you some idea that in most cases customers are going through. And what the client does in this case is like, okay, I need something, I have no idea, so I have to search for solutions. So they do some Google search or checking their social media for search, look at influencers, or this is where we would like to know a little bit more about that problem or the kind of solutions we can expect. So it's really about content marketing, like podcasts, vlogs, and blogs. We ask connections. Okay, so this is really good for referrals. And it's very important that previous customer journeys feed back into the awareness process, awareness stage, because we also rely on our previous experience if we had one. What did I do? What are the things that I previously done when I had this problem, if I had this problem already? And the marketing techniques, it's very important to acknowledge that in the awareness stage, the customer is not ready to buy. So if you throw the offer right away on them, or the product, or tell them to buy right, like on this cartoon, then obviously they will just say, hey, I'm not ready. I'm not yet ready. I'm not sure. And they will just back off. So this is not the right marketing technique at this point, which unfortunately not all businesses know. But at this problem, the client is only problem aware. They are aware of the problem, but not yet aware of solution. So an offer, a purchase offer right away won't help them. Obviously, SEO is really important at this stage because they use the search. You should know the keywords they are using. Content marketing, at this stage, it's about the problem, content which is about the problem. They realize that, oh, I have the same problem, and they tell me some kind of solutions that I can use to solve it. And obviously, content marketing can be organic, and you can also advertise the content, but not yet the solution or the product. Networking really helps because they ask their connections, obviously, and some kind of influencer or social media marketing. Influencer is not necessarily someone I pay who is a very well-known figure, but influencers can be micro-influencers in our network who people turn to. And obviously having a good brand or personal brand, both of them also helps, because in some cases, we turn in this phase to brands we already know or we're satisfied with, or which are generally known to be good to solve that problem that we have. Okay, so this is really the awareness stage where we are not yet ready to buy. What to offer at this stage, because this was marketing technique for communication, and this is what we can offer to our potential clients. They are not yet ready to buy, but we can tell them that, look, you are just looking, here is a free trial. We might offer an entry product at this stage, which has a very low commitment. So it's not very expensive. It's not very, they don't really have to commit. So if you normally offer some longer training, this could be a much shorter training that they can try. And this is where we can offer lead generation guides or evaluation tests, because this is exactly the right time for them to really get a little bit closer to the solution. So they're very happy to sign up and have some help, and obviously they will be on your database and on your list. This leads us into the consideration stage. By this time, the customer already did some research, and obviously in our age, we have access to a lot of information. So what happens in a consideration stage, just as you can see on this cartoon, that we really have a lot of choices, and oh my God, how will I choose? I don't know how to decide. I have this or that offer. It's not even easy to compare them. This is about, I'm not really sure what to do. And it's really, obviously when you are buying a top, for example, it's not really the case. But when you would like to make an informed decision, which has really high risk, or you have to invest more money, then it's really the case of, oh my God, I'm having a lot of choices. Or even if you just look at this cartoon, actually, it really happens, right? That sometimes it's just too many choices. It says this, how is it different from the other? So the customer at this stage, really, when they really have to choose and they don't know how. So what they do at this stage, they are a little bit closer to the solution. So they already did some preliminary research. So they would like to compare choices. They can go to comparison sites, or some of them even just create some comparison for themselves to look at what they already know about the solutions. This is when they ask experts. So, like, for example, if I want to I don't know, invest some money. I feel that I have money in the bank, and it's not it's not the best way of keeping it. Probably I will do some research on how to invest, but at this stage I would like to probably contact a financial advisor or any kind of expert. This is when clients read the reviews to make sure that, okay, I have these choices. Where do I have the most positive reviews? What do people think? And this is when they can run some tests, or once again, free trials. And this is when they check the background of the companies. In marketing, we always say that the customers are interested in themselves and not anybody else. And this is really true, that when we want to satisfy ourselves, our main interest is ourselves. But at this stage, the consideration stage, we would like to make sure that the company, the business who is offering the service, is reliable, how they stand out, what is their background, what is their experience. This is really the stage when we want to know more about the background of the company and want to know more about them, who we pay the money to. Okay, so the marketing techniques. At this stage, you remember the previous stage, the client was problem aware. They had no idea about solutions, only about the problem. This is the next stage where they are solution aware. They know a couple of solutions, but they don't know how to choose. So the marketing technique we can use to help them is a real clear USP. When they can really realize, if we say the same things that everybody else, they will not be able to pick us. But if there is a clear USP, if there is a clear value proposition, which means that we very clearly tell them that this is what you're getting, if we are really clear about where it will take them, it will be easier for them to choose us. This is where it's really great to have good references and testimonials, because as we could see, they will check it. Then, do we have a clear offer? Is it easy for them to understand how much it costs, what the packages are? Is it easy for them to choose us? It's always a huge question. Look at your price proposal. When you send a price proposal, is it easy for that potential client, who is probably asking for more price price proposals to find out how you're different, what you're offering, what they are getting out of it. And obviously, email marketing and remarketing, if you pay, could be good, because in the consideration stage, they already shared the email with you, so you can get back to them. And remarketing is something very similar on a paid ad basis. Okay, so these are the marketing techniques. And at this stage, at the consideration stage, in the previous stage, we offered some kind of a free trial or an entry product. But at this stage, you really want to offer your core product. You would like to channel the customer journey into your core product and offer various packages which are very clear for them and very easy to choose from. Okay, so this is consideration stage. And remember that if the earliest you can join the customer in their journey, the higher the chance they will stay with you. Those who started with you in the previous stage because they filled in an evaluation test, they signed up for your guide, they started to watch your videos, they will stay with you as they go on, and they will leave other competitors out. The same way, if you're not doing these marketing techniques, or you're not networking, people are not referring you, people cannot really say exactly what you're doing, then the same way, you will be the competitor who is just in the shade, and they will choose somebody else to work with. So we go to the purchase stage, and this is when they are ready to spend the money. They will spend the money with someone, and we want to make sure that it's our business, if it's a good customer for us, but let's assume they are. At this stage, they would like to think that, okay, I had enough information and I'm ready to make a decision. I hope it's a good decision. And this is the time when they have to depart from their money. And this is a very painful point and a big decision, right? So they feel a little bit of pain, obviously, whenever we have to get rid of our money, even if we know that it's for something good, then there is like, okay, there is some risk involved, there is some pain involved. But at the same time, when they make a purchase, it's also a little bit of relief and hope that my problem will be solved properly. And actually, what is really important, and what my question really is at this stage, how easy it is to buy from you. It's always a good idea to go through from the customer's point of view, that at the moment they decide to buy from you, how easy is the whole process? Do they get information? Is it clear for them, the payment structure, the refund and guarantee conditions? And Sheila could talk a lot about also what we should include here to protect ourselves. But now we are really talking about the customer's point of view, how secure the payment is, how reassured they are that they are not taking out a risk. How much are they informed how they will deliver? So it's very, very important to make sure that it happens, because in many cases we send the price proposal and we wait, and we just don't know what is happening in their head, and get back to us, right? And yeah, then we are a little bit like offended at why they didn't get back, but probably in that journey there was a huge block that we didn't remove, right? And just look at, obviously, this is just a funny cartoon that I don't really have to explain, but I really have to make sure that I understand what they are checking on the website. Are they getting back? Is it clear? If they go to my website, can they get in touch with me? Do they find everything that they need there? And obviously in e-commerce, you have to make sure that all this is very seamless on the website. If it's not e-commerce, if it's a consultant, then they have to be able to get in touch and really get all this information from you. And before I go on, I just want to make sure that obviously many cases we hear, and obviously we do networking. And networking, it's really about the referrals. And many people think that if they are referred, then they don't have to do anything else because they are referred, and the rest is, they are taking for granted the rest of the journey for the customer. But it's not the case, unfortunately. People might be referred more companies when they ask for referrals, and they will still do some comparison. People sometimes get some referrals and they discuss it with their husband or with their, if it's a B2B offer, so they are dealing with companies, they will discuss it internally. So even if you are referred, you have to make sure that those people who check you out, they have a seamless journey and they will find enough information about you. So let's assume that they finally make the purchase. Oh, sorry, the marketing techniques I like to talk about. So at this stage, they are product aware. First stage, they were solution aware, they were problem aware, then solution aware, and now they know the product. They know the product or the service they are going to buy. So what you can do is really clear terms and conditions, display the benefits and value, even in a price proposal. A price proposal is not a price list, is a proposal. It's about the value proposition as well as the price. This is what you're giving me. This is what I'm giving you. Our testimony is displayed as well as this stage. They might not remember what they read about you because they might have looked at various options. It should be as easy payment as possible. Once again, is it easy to buy from you? And they should know what happens next and what happens after the next. What is the schedule? Is it really clear? Are they informed? Or once they make the payment, they don't know anything. What happens after they make the payment? And what you can offer at this stage really is an upsell. So you can tell them that, okay, are you, you know that, you know, upsell, okay, I don't have to explain it, but this is really a stage when you can offer something else that goes with the core product. And we come to the happy stage of post-purchase. And this is where many businesses just thinks that the customer journey finishes when the customer is making the purchase. Happy days, we can go back and acquire the new client. But this is a very important stage. The customer already put the money, invested in it, and this is when they are expecting the product or the service. And this is where they will actually use, this is where they will be a happy customer or an unhappy customer, and it's very important to stay with them. It's very important to stay with them. It's our interest as a business, because this will feed back into the awareness stage of their customer journey and other people's customer journey, because if they are not happy here, they will also feed it to others. Okay, so this is really super important. As you can see on the cartoon, testimonials are one of this stage. And what the client thinks at this stage is really based on their satisfaction. And just think about it, it's not always at the moment of payment, you don't get the product or the service right away in each case, in every case. If you buy it in e-commerce, you make the payment and it can take a few days until you get a product. If you, I don't know, hire someone to redo your website, you pay a 50% in advance deposit, it might take weeks or months until you have the website, right? So it's, or if you pay for a trip, right, it might take 6 months. If you buy a car, so in many cases we have to wait. There's a time period between the payment and the delivery. And this is really the stage where I still have to be in touch with the customer and I have to inform them. I have to keep them excited in case of a travel. I have to make sure that they know that I'm still thinking of them. And they are really looking forward to the outcome. They are really excited at this stage. And at this stage, obviously, they think that, oh, finally, I've made a decision. Or if they are not satisfied, they will think that I should have picked somebody else. Based on their satisfaction, they are either happy, satisfied, relieved, disappointed, or if they are not getting any information, they pay the web design company, in my example, and they don't get back to them, and they just think, oh my God, another week has passed and nothing happened. What is happening? Have I made a bad decision? So it's really important to be in touch with them, even in e-commerce. And what the client does, obviously, when it's delivered, if they are happy, they will give a positive feedback and reviews. They will recommend it to others and they will refer others. So this post-purchase will feed back into the awareness stage of others, right? And they start using the product. Don't forget that it's also the time of the delivery. Post-purchase for the client is for the delivery of the business. This is how it meets. And this is really a moment that matters for our client. And it's really for us to think that, yes, I already got my money. they paid. But am I really delivering it in a way that I'm celebrating this moment that matters for them when they finally meet the solution that they were expecting, that they were looking forward to? And just a very simple example. Many of the it's about e-commerce. When you make the payment and you're looking forward to receiving the product, and in a few days you're just receiving it in an ugly box, that is the moment that matters, and they just miss it in many cases. When you open it, it's just full of this ugly brown packaging. You find it, and this is really that they should celebrate. Or if you are delivering a service, really think of it. Am I really taking into consideration that this is the moment that matters for them? So as you can see, obviously, if they are not satisfied, they will complain, they will call the customer service, they will give negative review, or in the worst case, they will even ask for a refund, which is not a very good thing, obviously, for the business. The marketing techniques. So now the client has their own experience. They are not anymore in the shadow, just trying to rely on what others did. They have their own experience, which will be much stronger than anybody else's for them. And it's very important to have the follow-up communication and ask for feedback from them. You can still supply content to them on how to use the product or what to do, because it's still a very good phase to be in touch with them. And you can even, obviously, if it's something relevant to your business, you can build a community or a client-only group and use email marketing. Email marketing is always good, right? And what the... No, I wanted to... No, it's not. Sorry. So what you can offer, somehow that slide disappeared. What you can offer at this stage is a premium product, membership. So even in this advocacy or post-purchase advocacy stage, it's possible to offer them, if they are happy, to join a membership group, offer a premium product. So don't forget that you as a business are not selling only the core product, but you always also have a product staircase, which is matching the customer journey. And I will take some questions, but before, Miles, do we have any questions before I just go to a couple of last slides to how to map the customer journey, how to find out?
We do indeed. A few people had to drop off at 1 o'clock and they've apologized, but Fraser's unfortunately dropped off, but it was a question, I think, that if we can't answer now, we'll definitely send him a reply after. He asked, are there any recommended software applications for mapping the customer journey?
Okay, yeah, that's good. I will answer it on the next slide. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then going through, just some people agreeing with you, really. Sapna says that when people are dissatisfied, they will tell 7 times more people about it.
Yeah, yeah, and Sapna knows it, yes.
And Karen says, yeah, damaged boxes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some things are out of your control, right? But I totally agree with what you're saying there, Timea, and I think that we should remember that sort of first impressions last, and from that, depending on what you offer, I guess, but from that opening of the box, you really want to make a nice lasting impression, and with that post conversation, it's that loop. You create testimonials, feedback that you can then put back into the very beginning of your customer journey. It becomes self-perpetuating.
Yeah, and it's very good. So if we can use this term opening the box, but if you provide a service, then also imagine this opening the box moment for the client, and this should be really memorable for them. And we know that very often that it happens that if you have somebody who supplies a service, you pay the advance payment, and then nothing happens. So then that box is really damaged in this case, right?
Yeah.
So
we do have a question that's just popped through from Chris Sylvester, who I know is in New York City right now. And Chris is asking, what's the best way to keep in touch with past clients?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Chris. Good morning to you in New York. So as I said, it's this, as it previous slide. marketing technique. Yeah, it's really here. You can keep in touch. It really depends. I don't know, Chris, what you do. That would
He's
be.
a real estate guy, an estate agent.
Yeah, so very easy. You can keep in touch with them in a mass way, in a one to many, which is email marketing, and you can just even create an email list of your customers and just say that these are really just keep in touch with them with tips, what's happening on the market, and really you can even offer them some customer only, I don't know, even events or webinars or something like that. Or if you don't want to do a customer only, you can still keep in touch in email in any case, with sharing some insights of the market, so they will know when next time would like to turn to you, they will have you in front of them. That's the easiest and cheapest way to do, obviously. But other ways are also probably not in your case. It can be community building. It's really very good. Like if somebody has small business owner clients, then obviously for them it's very useful to get in touch with themselves. Or if you have clients who are moms, then obviously you can build a community of them, and they also benefit from the connections that you make between them. So that's another very good way of keeping in touch with clients. Obviously, you have client events that you can do, and you can do one-to-one ones, so like really big clients, so those clients that you had, and it's really worth getting back to them and keeping an eye on them, and just from time to time going back to them and asking how they are. What we do with previous clients is then every quarter we put together a little bit of what is happening on the market, what is coming up, a trend review, and we tailor it to some clients and just send it to them. This is also a very good way to keep in touch because they will really, really appreciate it. So these are some of the ways. I don't know, Miles, if you have anything else.
Yeah, I concur. I think specifically where Chris is involved, I think probably what's the hard thing about being an estate agent is that you're very much intrinsically linked all the way through the process. But once you've bought your house or once you've sold your house, it's almost quite an abrupt end. You're not necessarily in the market for another house, yeah, or you haven't got another house to sell. And I think what I'd be recommending to Chris there is it is just about keeping regular touch points with his past clients so that he remains in their mind. So I know it's a little bit cliche to say like the Christmas card or, the sort of the anniversary sort of card or something that's personal, but it doesn't have to be salesy. It can be something a little bit personal, which just reminds people that you were there and you did offer a really good service, so that when someone says to them, do you know an estate agent, that you're the person that is in the front of their mind when they're recommending you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a cliche. That's a fantastic idea. Not many people do the postcard thing. There was a company, and I forgot what the company was, but they actually did it every month, and they sent a cartoon. The only thing they said, a funny cartoon, it matched their clients, and they had a message with that, and every month they were in front of them, but not with a sales message, but a little bit of a cartoon. And yes, it's the simplest thing to do, really. So
and also I think we have to think about, we were talking about the customer journey, so it is important to think about where do your customers reside, as in, do they want to be seeing something come through the letterbox, or do they want to be following you on social media, or whatever it may be?
Exactly. This is why we have to map it out.
Correct.
And
that's why we're here.
Yeah. And now I will tell you how to map it. And then you can, so how to map the journey. Obviously, easiest is to ask clients. So you can do client interviews and ask them the same things like, okay, what was the point when you noticed that you have this problem? What did you do then? Who you searched for? What are the things that you were searching for? What are the keywords? So we can really ask the client interviews, and we can also do some surveys when we are not interviewing, but we are just sending a survey, and then you will have the answers from more clients. Obviously, let's keep in mind that sometimes unintentionally, we don't always know what influenced us in a journey. So clients can tell you a lot of things, and this will be hugely, massively useful. But there will be some things that clients won't be able to reveal, but still it's really, really, really useful. Then it's so important to review the client questions that you are getting when you send the price proposal or when you have a consultation. Record the consultation and listen to it again, just to the questions the clients had. And obviously, it's very, very important. You can then build a frequently asked questions, and then you can make sure that you build into your communication the answers to your questions, to those questions that you don't that they don't have to ask again. If you have a customer service, then obviously contact your customer service. Review the testimonials from clients. In a very in a shocking amount of cases, it's not really happening. It's just, oh, we are very happy that they sent a testimonial. But it's really important to see exactly what were the specific things they mentioned they liked. Or obviously, when you have feedback, they didn't on some of the things they didn't like or fed back to you, then review that as well. Do research on social media on what people generally ask in the problem that you are solving. That's really, really a great source of information. If you can review in groups, in certain specific themed groups or on social media, what they are asking. And obviously, use online tools as well. You can do keyword research. It's so important to use the keywords that your audience is using. In a lot of cases, it happens, like Chris is a real estate agent, that you're using the word property while your audience might use flat or a home or a house. Then we have to use the terminology they use, and we have to know those keywords. Look at industry statistics, what specific in that industry, what is the research that companies like HubSpot is doing, really, really good research, and obviously many others, or property industry, what is the research that you can find. Obviously, it's a secondary research for you. And hopefully you will have your own online metrics, so you will be able to see if you are posting on social media, what are the questions, how many people view it, how many comment, because you will see what is the content that resonates with them, what are the things that they are looking at on your website, what is the content that people read. If you can use, I don't know, if you use heat maps, you can use what are the things that they are viewing on a website. You can see what are the pages they are looking at, and this will also give you a very good feedback on what they were interested in and what they did. And from these secondary and primary research that you do online and offline, you will have a really, really good idea. And this is something, so I'm sharing this because you don't need to invest any money. You have to invest your time here, and you will have loads of information, not only for the customer journey, but obviously then what to do in your marketing, what to do in your product offering. And I will have questions. I will take questions. I just would like to show you that I really recommend, this is something that you can find in Canva or put together yourself, these customer journey maps, and you can put together like this, so you can always see it on as one on what, and you really should fill it very detailed. So I really recommend you that you fill it like what they think. You will add in first person what they told you they thought at that moment. They had, I don't know, the awareness stage, what they felt, what they did. So it's really important to map it out and see it on one page. And obviously, if you have more types of customer, then it's not the same journey they go. Then this is exactly as Miles mentioned, that you might have a customer avatar who is asking their network when they want to find something, and you might have another who is turning to Pinterest or Instagram for inspiration. So you should be able to see the various customer journeys, because it's not necessarily just one. But I don't want to overwhelm anybody. If you do it for your main customer first, it will be perfect, and then you can learn from them. And obviously, lastly, why we are doing the whole thing is to optimize the processes to match this journey, to use the right keywords, to prepare the right content, to answer the questions before they ask, to formulate clearer messaging and value proposition for them, to optimize the offerings, the product portfolio. If they needed some trial, they needed some entry product, they are not ready to commit. Or if I don't have any premium to anything else to offer to those who were very happy with my service, obviously make the purchase and payment easy, and make asking for review and referrals as part of your processes in the post-purchase period. Okay, so this is what I this is the end of it, what I wanted to share with you. I don't know if there were any questions or any
I think what, Timea, it's been fantastic. And I think what I'd just like to sort of point out is that you and I, if you like, now, we're doing part of our customer journey by creating this webinar, right? We're sharing information that we think our customers sort of need to understand. And yeah, I mean, look, I think we seem to have a lot of estate agents on the call today. I don't know what we're doing.
I should have customized it. But if they have any questions, then let's talk about that, Miles. I don't know if we have time.
Let's get the questions in. I think what I'd just like to sort of say here is that a few people have suggested ways in which Chris can engage with his customers.
Well, let's share it.
Sapna, she said that her estate agent got her husband some cupcakes as a present on his birthday. Now, you know, and then further on down in the chat, she sort of says that she would never use anyone else. And it's amazing how little you need to invest in. I mean, all right, I'm sure she's not just using him because they gave her cupcakes. They obviously gave her a very good customer service. But it's these sort of small little gestures that it does make the difference. And, you know, for the sake of a very small investment in terms of a small gift to the customer.
Exactly. This is a brilliant idea. This is a brilliant idea, especially because as a real estate agent, you really have the advantage that you know where they live, you know their address, so that you can even send their really gift. And really, it really helps, even if sometimes you're not sending a written message, but a video message to someone, which is personalized to them, can make a huge difference. And this was just a little extra that you had to do. So
absolutely, I think we do forget the sort of the technology that's in our hand and how quick, and also one thing I would say as well is I think we've got it in our heads, and for some businesses this will be true, but for most businesses, your communications in terms of the video content that you put out doesn't have to be highly polished. Like in some cases, the more natural doing a piece to camera as you're walking down the street, as it were, can be just as effective, or if in fact more effective and more personal than a big studio with lights and everything very polished and everything sort of edited extremely.
Exactly. And I think it's also about being different from others. So if we are in September and we know that December will be full of the Christmas cards sent around saying the same Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And this is great, fine. What can I do differently? In one case with one company, what we did is put together a magazine for each of their clients, which the main content was the same, and it included obviously tips and stuff like that. But with digital printing, on the cover of the magazine, they had the theme of each client, and this is huge. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was very happy. It really stood out. So it was just an idea. Or what I did last year was just created a little booklet with quotes, which I only sent to clients. It was not on sale. So and this was just for Christmas. I just wanted to point out that it's also about not doing the same. Like everybody sends you a message saying that thanks for your purchase. Let's do something extra and different. This is also something.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I got very, very good response. And this was, believe me, I have to tell you, this was not, I already had some content. I pulled it together, put it on Amazon. It was really easy. And you put the same effort into sending a Christmas card, but think of how I can make it a wow for that person, which they really think about. I think sending a Christmas card in itself is a nice thing. It's just that, okay, if I'm making an effort,
put a bit of thought into it, I think. Chris has said vegan donuts. Hey, Chris, you meant to sort of give them a gift they want.
Yes.
I'm joking. Right. Yeah, the X-ray, really interesting. Small things make a big difference. Sapna saying she's got personal WhatsApp groups going on for people.
That's a great idea. She also has a Facebook group.
Steve says that estate agents are really lovely human beings,
Oh,
which
Steve, and
I'm
Steve
not sure
really
we can get
is
on board
one.
with
Yeah, I Steve. Yeah,
that.
and I think that yeah, obviously now we are talking about post purchase a lot and the delivery, but let's just not forget the rest of the journey as well. So we have to get to post purchase, and post purchase feeds back to the next journey as well. But I really think that a lot of people are not really, a lot of businesses are not really there at the awareness stage. So the awareness stage is really when we don't really see the client yet, and we should be there with them.
Yeah, and I would say as well that, you know, if you were to sort of say do webinars and get yourself out there, you know, collaborate with other people,
Collaborate, yeah.
or even one of the things I would say to people as well is don't be tied up in the metrics. You know, you post on your social media and you only get so many likes, as it were. Don't get sort of hung up on that, because there are a lot of people that look that don't click like. You know, there are a lot of people that watch these things that don't let you know that they're there, but you just need to be producing the content that you feel is right for your business and just keep doing it consistently. All right, you have to keep going. Don't just think, oh, no one's watching, I'm not going to do it next week.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true, Miles. That's so true. And exactly this kind of webinar that Miles is doing is an excellent, which exactly night there's a guest on it, myself, which I'm very, very honored. It goes on every Tuesday when Miles shares some tips, and this is an excellent example of the of content you can
content
awareness stage.
And I think one of the things you said there is like answering the questions through your interaction with your customers. You know, think about what questions are being asked most frequently and most readily, and think, have I answered those questions on my website? When someone engages with me, when I send them out when I send them the quote, if you like, have I sent a list of questions that normally people have? You know, have I answered them for them?
Exactly.
So, I think the last thing I would say to everybody is not to get really weighed down with it being overly complex. Just think about it in nice, simple terms, and don't think about your 3 avatars if you haven't really concentrated on one.
Yes,
right?
I don't want to overwhelm anybody. So just concentrate on one. Walk. Really put yourself in their shoes and walk in it. Probably that's the.
I agree. Well, I'm just going to check the chat one last time. Just in terms of software, because I know that was a particular question that was asked. A lot of CRM systems, they'll have like sort of the HubSpots of this world. They are quite good at tracking customer journey through websites as well as Google Analytics. Do you have any specific software that you use, Timea?
No, yes, you mentioned the HubSpot, which they have a lot of templates for the customer journey to map and the buyer personas. But I use Google Analytics, Google Keyword. These are all free. I also use SEMrush, but it's not free. That's very expensive actually, but that's very good. And the CRM system, in the CRM systems, you can keep in touch. You can track them, and you can see the conversion rates. How many of the people go to the next stage from one stage to another, what's the erosion rate, and then you can always look at how you optimize that. But I don't want to overwhelm anybody with that. So if you don't have all these things, you can still do it, because you can
but what I would say is like having some sort of tracking mechanism, and it doesn't have to be expensive. So let's say you send an email out to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And you say that this is the product offer. Don't send them with that link to a generic page on your website where you've got no ability to track it. Send them to a landing page where you're able to sort of say, oh, actually, I sent out 100 emails and I had 10 clicks to the particular page. Sort of that'll give you some sort of metrics. In terms of specific software, I've used Hotjar in the past. That's quite a good
That
one.
the heat map.
And
Yeah.
Clara Bridge, that's also one that that allows you to sort of pull in a lot more detail.
But it's
right, okay, let's have a look at the chat. Sheila's asking, what's wrong with vegan donuts? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I love my dairy. I love my dairy. And if you still don't know what to do and you don't have the time, hire. Yeah, well, of course. If you don't know what to do and you haven't got the time, you've got to hire Timea and Miles to sort out.
Miles, yes.
That's a lovely thing to say. Thank you very much indeed. Well,
thank you.
I've enjoyed it. I think we've crammed a lot into an hour there. The viewers have definitely enjoyed it. I know the majority of people I see in the chat will know who we are. But if you're lurking and you haven't connected with Timea, then please do look her up on LinkedIn. She is fantastic. And if you live in and around London, then come along to one of the London Business Society nights. I can tell you they're fantastic, and I'll definitely see you there.
Yeah,
so unless there's any more any questions, I think we're going to we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and for being such an amazing audience. And thank you, Miles, for hosting it and for your amazing additions that you shared with us. Thank you.
You can just keep saying amazing as much as you like. I love it.
Yeah, you're amazing.
We'll definitely have you back on to talk about a different subject next year, Timea. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge. And yeah, bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Cheers, everybody.